Hi, my name is Jamie Irvin. I'm the host of the Heavy Duty Parts Report. You've been watching a segment called Why Many Distributors and Heavy Duty Parts Manufacturers Are in Trouble and What to Do About It. This is our third segment. In the last segment, I told you a story of a manufacturer who was planning on selling direct to end users in our industry using an Amazon model. And I explained the things that this manufacturer would have had to have done over the last few years to be in a position to execute on their plan in the 2020s, the early 2020s. In this segment, I want to explain to you what's going to happen when this story that I've been telling you becomes a reality. See, while this manufacturer has been hard at work laying the foundation for making this move, I can tell you that most aftermarket distributors and many manufacturers have been very resistant to new technology, and they've been resisting the way that our society is changing and the way that people want to buy. They don't want things to change. And they've doubled down on the traditional distribution model of manufacturer to distributor, a retailer, and to end user. I've personally been frustrated to the point of wanting to scream when I've been ignored by the C-suite of all the major distributors. I've had meetings with executives of technology companies that provide manufacturers and distributors with e-commerce and other technologically based solutions. They share in my frustration. They've said to me, Jamie, I don't understand this. Why is the heavy duty parts industry reacting this way? They're shocked at how almost the entire industry is seemingly turning a blind eye to what is happening in every other industry. Why do we think we're immune to it? I want to share this quote with you. The water has gone out and a tsunami of disruption is headed directly toward the heavy duty parts industry. You can either be on the beach with your head in the sand or you can move to higher ground. That little chestnut comes from yours truly. The response of the manufacturers and the distributors is the very thing that I think is what's going to undo the traditional distribution model. Their response up until now and their response when, this manufacturer that we're talking about goes direct and changes the game, it's in that response that the traditional distribution model will come to an end and a lot of things are going to happen. So this is how I see the largest aftermarket distributors and other manufacturers responding to a scenario where a manufacturer abandons the traditional distribution model and starts selling directly to end users. Break it down into basically three phases. So phase one, the obvious response. The major aftermarket distributors, they're not going to have any of it, right? They're going to stop buying from that manufacturer immediately. They're going to be like, what? You're going to sell direct? We're going to cut you out. They might even try to return all their stock. And surprisingly, that manufacturer might actually accept those returns with probably a restocking fee. Why would they do that? Probably because they want to bolster their inventory and they've made money, right? Because of the restocking fee, they take that inventory back. They don't have to manufacture it. And that is something that I think a lot of aftermarket distributors will kind of miss. They'll just be grateful to get rid of that stuff, get that stuff out of our store. That manufacturer isn't supporting us anymore. We're not going to support them. Now, the distributors that are selling that manufacturer's products, they're going to have to replace those products. So they're going to contact competitors, other manufacturers that make the same parts, and they're going to give them orders. And so what's going to happen is that competitors to this manufacturer that goes direct are going to initially see their sales go up and they're going to be really happy. They're going to be like, haha, they've screwed up. This manufacturer, they're crazy. Our sales have gone up. We're doing good. The manufacturer who goes direct will actually see their sales go down. But what everybody will fail to realize is it's all part of the plan. It's expected. Now, phase two. This is what I call the mistake. So the distributors are going to try to respond to this manufacturer, and they've already started down that road, many of them, right? They're building e-commerce sites and they're rolling them out right now. And this is before a major manufacturer goes direct. And so once this major manufacturer has gone direct, they're going to put a lot of emphasis around e-commerce. But here's the thing. They haven't been spending the last few years, most of them, building necessary traffic to be able to get that e-commerce site to work properly. They also haven't invested in parts cross information and parts identification information to the extent that this other manufacturer has. They've ignored people like me who's been trying to sell them technology solutions to those very problems. And all that's really going to happen when they launch these e-commerce sites, these distributors, they're just going to take customers they already have who phone the order in, and some of them will start to put the order in on the e-commerce site. And so they're not really getting any new business. They're just shifting the business they already have from one form of purchasing to another. The user experience isn't going to be that good on these sites. The delivery system will be average, and the prices are going to be notably higher because the manufacturer who's going direct no longer has to worry about a distributor in between and their markup. And so it's not going to work. The response to this isn't going to work. Manufacturers who don't want to go direct and they want to stay with their distributors, they're going to monitor all of this, and they're going to assure their distributors that they will never violate the sanctity of the traditional distribution model. The only problem is that within a few quarters, the manufacturers that once saw their sales initially go up are going to start to see sales drop off. And this is when the mistake is made. You see, manufacturers really only have a couple options. They can also go direct, but they haven't been spending their time building the necessary foundation like we talked about. They can stick with the traditional distribution model, but that's not working because it's starting to crumble. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to launch like a hybrid model where we're going to offer e-commerce to the public, but we're going to price protect our distributors. It's just not going to work because, again, the infrastructure just isn't there. The distributors are going to be angry at the manufacturers. The manufacturers will be frustrated with the distributors. The whole industry is going to start to fracture apart, and everything is going to start to fundamentally change. Phase 3 is what I call the final move. Now, while the industry is in turmoil, the manufacturer that kind of kicked everything off and went direct is going to have captured a respectable amount of market share. I project that once they have annual sales comparable to the largest distributors in our industry, they're going to actually enact the final part of their plan. I think they're going to sell to Amazon. And I think when that happens, it's over for the traditional distribution model. I see that's when major aftermarket distributors that right now in our little industry are quite powerful are going to be crushed. And we're going to see one of them go out of business. 2 of them are going to file bankruptcy. Maybe all 3 of the big ones will go down over the course of a few years. Now, it's pretty discouraging to think about that. And in the next segment, I'm going to talk about what aftermarket distributors and heavy-duty parts manufacturers can do right now in 2020 to mitigate the impact of the end of the traditional distribution model. My name is Jamie Irvin. I'm the host of the Heavy Duty Parts Report. Thank you for watching this segment. I look forward to talking to you soon. You can watch our next video, and don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel.